So that's great in theory. But how do we really change that disconnect? How do we really bridge that gap between the old generation and the old way of doing things to what the new generation expects and wants from a job?
The best thing you can do is you can just ask. And I'm just astonished by how little this happens. People just don't ask. What you can do is go to the workforce and you can say, what is it that keeps you here? What is it that you want from a job? What is it that motivates you and excites you? And people will tell you. And the fact that a leader or a manager in a company is willing to go down to a line worker, willing to go to somebody and just sit down and say, tell me, what is it? Help me out. What is it that we could do here to make this a better place to attract the kind of talent we're looking for? They will open up and tell you. And I got huge traction from just being humble in my lack of knowledge. And sometimes I'd sit down with somebody in our company at a line worker and just say, tell me about Facebook. I don't understand this. I think it's something that's important to us, but I don't know what that is. Explain how this works. And yeah, I might stumble through it, and I might not be able to absorb it quickly, but just the fact that you're listening and looking and trying to move into that very powerful message you're sending. And then the other thing I think that's important is experiment. It isn't about the money. I mean, you need to understand it's not about the money. People are not changing jobs because there's more money. What you're looking to create is a place where this generation is not interested in even looking. And the way you create loyalty is by finding ways to create this workforce that resonates with their values. So put that in place and experiment with that, and then ask them, is this the kind of thing where what's working, what's not working, and adjust. Just the fact you're listening and honoring that generation and saying, how can we set this up to work for you, covers a huge amount of ground. Very powerful. I don't think that's taken advantage of as much as people realize there's something there.
So what is the one piece of advice that you would give to hiring managers and executives today who are looking to really draw in this next generation and really make them a part of their culture?
Realize it's not about the money. You need to start from that. It's not about just giving them enough money to attract them. There has to be parity with the pay, but it's about an environment that they believe that they will be able to recognize their potential. They'll be able to be given responsibility. Saying something to somebody like, we're going to move you quickly into a role where you're going to be a project manager, or you're going to be responsible, or you're going to be managing somebody. Speaking to those things is going to attract these people. Particularly it's going to attract the talented ones, which is what you're looking for. And then also speaking to quality of life. We did something that was hugely powerful, a little risky, but we went to a 3-day weekend every other week. And that we considered very carefully before we did. And yes, it maybe lowered the productivity in the company a little bit, but my gosh, did we create an environment that attracted talent. And it ended up in the long run being a great trade. Those kind of things, the kind of things that really stand out where people say, this is a special place to work. This is something like Google. I didn't know there was some place like this here in my town. Boy, that will attract the very best talent.
Well, great. Well, thank you for joining us today. I know you're always looking for more speaking engagements. So if anyone watching is interested in contacting you, how can they reach you?
Probably the best thing is I do have a blog and I do have a website that covers this ground, and there's a lot of great information in there. It links to the MDM blog, so many of the things we do together there. www.scotttibbets.com, and that will get you there. And it's, well, a little counterintuitive in the spelling. It's SCOTTTIBBITTS, but that's a great way to connect with me. I'd love to connect with some of the folks that are involved with MDM.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.